Yo, what up guys, old school Dan here. In this video let's talk about five carb sources that are dirt freaking cheap. Again, if you want to pick up silver or secrets before it's gone forever, click the link in the description right now. With that being said, let's go ahead and dive right in. Number one, bananas. You can get about 6 bananas for about $1.50, which is dirt freaking cheap. They're cheap, they're tasty, they're good for post-workout. Or you can buy them anywhere at any store, Food for Less, Walmart, Target, Sam's Club, Costco, wherever. It's gonna be Yo, what up guys, old school Dan here. In this video, let's talk about 5 carb sources that are super dirt freaking cheap. All right, before we get into that, silver secrets will be gone forever. You wanna pick that up before it's gone forever, click the link in the description right now. Let's go ahead and dive right in. Number one, bananas. Anywhere you go, they're gonna be relatively cheap. $1.50 for 6 bananas, which is super freaking cheap. When I say $1.50, I mean US dollars, all right? My international viewers. They're cheap, they're tasty, and good for post-workout, all right? Number 2, rice. You can get about 20 pounds for about 10 bucks. I go to Sam's Club over here, Fountain Valley. Get about 20 pounds of rice for $10 freaking dollars, which is freaking cheap. All right, depending on what rice you get, sometimes jasmine rice will be a little more expensive. Basmati rice is probably the most expensive that I've seen. But it's easy to eat, and it's cheap if you buy in bulk. It's a staple bodybuilding food. You can never go wrong with rice. It's always included in a diet, usually. All right, super cheap. Number 3, potatoes. Again, all these sources are gonna be relatively cheap. Also, if you go buy them in bulk, if you go to Costco, Sam's Club, any type of membership place is usually going to have them on a cheaper price than if you go to a regular store like a Food for Less, a Target, a Walmart. All right. So you can get about 10 pounds of potatoes for $5, depending on the type of potato you get. All right, I'm talking about the golden potatoes. If you go to red potatoes, sweet potatoes, are going to be different prices. All right, but about 10 pounds of potatoes, it'll last you quite a while. Again, all these items will last you quite a while, especially if you buy in bulk. Like 20 pounds of rice lasts me a very long time. And I eat it every day. About 10 pounds of potatoes for $5 is pretty freaking cheap. And that usually lasts me a long freaking time too. They usually go bad by the time I finish them. Number 4, beans. Depending on the type of bag you buy, sometimes they'll run you about $1 to $8. If you get like a small little bag from like Stair Brothers, which is right behind me, which will about be like $1, like for this little bag, like a bag like this big. But if you go for a bigger bag, if you go to like Sam's Club or like Costco, it's gonna cost you around $8. But again, that's gonna be a lot of beans that'll last you for a long time. Because when I cook beans, and I think it's like, a small amount of beans, but when I cook them, actually they like inflate, and it's like a lot of freaking beans, and they end up going bad before I even eat all of them. So, but they're cheap. They could be sometimes tasty if you like beans. I'm Hispanic, so I like beans, and they're high in protein, which is really good. All right, you get 2 for 1 combo there. Killing 2 birds with 1 stone. And lastly, oats, another bodybuilding staple. Again, potatoes, rice, sometimes bananas are like bodybuilding staples. Some people don't include bananas because they don't like including fruit. That's if they're super bro diet. But usually rice, potatoes, and oats are gonna be a bodybuilding staple. So oats, if you go to Sam's Club, you get about 10 pounds of oats for $8 if bought in bulk. Usually less than $1 per pound depending on where you go. Sometimes it's $1 per pound. If you go to Whole Foods, Mother's Market, it's about $1 per pound, which is still pretty relatively cheap. But all these carb sources are super freaking cheap. And again, give your body what it needs, not what it wants. Sometimes some people want flavored oats. Some people want a different type of black bean. Some people want sweet potato. Some people want a basmati rice, or this other type of variety of that item because it tastes better. Like I would prefer basmati rice, because I went to a Mediterranean restaurant and they gave me basmati rice, and it was like a fried, and it was so freaking good, man. The kebabs are so freaking good, but it's a little more expensive. Like basmati rice, you want 10 pounds, it's about like $20. All right, I'm like, wow, it's a little more expensive. Or like $16, I think, $16 for like 8 pounds or something. I can't remember what it was. Potatoes, you want sweet potatoes. Sometimes they're a little more expensive than a regular potato. Can give your body what it needs, not what it wants. Beans, depending on what type of beans, sometimes you might want a different type of bean over another, a little more expensive. Flavored oats, again, gonna be a little more expensive if you want the flavored oats compared to the regular non-flavored oats. But again, give your body what it needs. If you have the money to spend, go ahead and spend it, because you have the funds to supplement it. But if you are like me and you don't want to do that, and You know, sometimes I mix it up. Sometimes I'll give my body what it needs, give my body what it wants. But most of the time, I'll give my body what it needs. Because I know some people, they go to Mother's Market, they go to Whole Foods, they go to Trader Joe's, and they get all these little fancy tasty foods that are so freaking good and healthy for you because they have like the best macros. But again, we start to break the budget here. And again, I'm a minimalistic bodybuilder. I really like to give my body what it needs, not what it wants, and I like to save money. I like to budget. I like to freaking just give myself a bunch of options because then things start to get complicated. I like to keep things relatively simple. So again, let's do a quick recap of all the carb sources that are relatively cheap. All right, number one, bananas. $1.50 for 6 bananas. It's cheap. They're tasty good for post-workout. Rice. Get about 20 pounds for $10. Super, super freaking cheap anywhere you go. It's always going to be cheap. Rice. Again, these are all really good sources of carbs. If you go into any other countries, these sources are usually always going to be pretty cheap, to my knowledge. Because I went to France, and I saw all these other items that were pretty cheap. Just really, they're relative to the prices in America. Rice. Bodybuilding staple. Cheap. Potatoes. Cheap. You can get 10 pounds for $5 depending on the potato. Beans. Depending on the bag, it's gonna run you about $1 to $8. Usually, it's high in protein, always cheap. Oats, depending on what type you buy, the non-flavored oats are always gonna be cheaper, and if you buy it in bulk, it's gonna be a lot cheaper. Again, all these items, any of you buy them, if you buy them in bulk, they're always going to be cheaper. That's why I always try to buy in bulk. Again, if you can buy in bulk, buy in bulk. If you can't, that's totally fine. But again, if you don't own a membership to a Costco, a Sam's Club, I think they have like a Kroger somewhere in another state. I think these are all memberships places you can get a membership at and buy in bulk, which I highly recommend. You'll save tons of money like that, tons of money. All right, guys. Hope you enjoyed this video. Any questions, leave a comment below. With that being said, I'm gonna be making the last video of this series, which is all about fat sources that are relatively cheap. I keep saying relatively, just to say fat sources that are dirt freaking cheap, all right? So with that being said, subscribe for more videos like this. Give it a thumbs up. Thanks for watching. I'm Old School Dan. I'm gone.